What is up, y'all? It is Paris Tempe. Oh, Paris PED, TTMPPED. And today I'm going to be discussing how I manage anxiety as a trans artist because it wasn't really until this year when I realized that I was managing it. I've been managing the anxiety that I've honestly had since I was a child. I grew up in a home, as y'all know, where I didn't really get a chance to understand who I was because I had other people tell me who I was instead. People were writing my life for me. And once I went to college, I had to kind of just navigate that on my own. And I broke up a lot of friendships because of that. And looking back, I don't think it was a bad thing that they broke up, but I do think that I didn't really know how to handle my emotions and properly communicate that with people. So I spent a lot of my time just 1 minute I'm quiet and then I'm basically just telling you like it is. Like I'm just like you did this. I'm feeling anxiety. I don't want to be. It was just a lot. Like I was starting to not know how I felt. And recently I had this event and I invited a lot of energies there, a lot of good energies and a lot of and I was feeling a lot of anxiety. And after having this long conversation with some friends, I realized you have to listen to when your body is anxious. And that is something that no one ever really tells me. Everyone always told me, manage it, cope, meditate. I think all that is amazing. But one thing I never understood, and I took for granted was that when your mind is yelling, when your body is shaking, you don't feel okay. You have to listen to your body. A lot of the time it's overthinking, a lot of the time it's past trauma, and sometimes it's a warning. You know what I'm saying? I was always neglectful of that. And a lot of the times when I would feel anxiety, it was in spaces where I couldn't be myself, or I felt like I was being minimized or silenced. I'm not a silent person. I'm very, I'm me. I'm a big energy. And in moments when I feel like I can't be that, I start to get anxious. I start to overthink and I withdraw from people. And I used to see that as a bad thing, something that I had to learn how to navigate through. But I don't navigate through that a lot unless I'm in an energy and unless I'm in a space where I don't feel like I can be myself. And that is when it happens. And that's my advice. Is that you have to listen to your anxiety. Of course, learn how to manage it. A lot of the times it might be getting out of that space. You know what I mean? Like that space may not be what your body needs. You know what I'm saying? It may be that the energy that you were around is creating anxiety. It may be that you are neglecting thoughts and feelings that you've been feeling. That's what happens with me. I neglect and that overthinking starts and I start to hear and I start to worry and I start to put all these scenarios into other people because I didn't listen to my voice the first time. So then you start, if you never heal, you'll always see the negativity everywhere you go. You know what I'm saying? To kind of give y'all a little bit more backstory, when I was in high school, I was always wanting to be understood. You know what I'm saying? I always wanted to be consumed well. I wanted to have the friends. And then I would hang out with any group of people that invited me. They're like, hey, we're doing this. You want to do that? Absolutely. You look like a great friend group. Let me include myself. And then I would hang out with them and I'll be made fun of. Oh, he's being weird. Oh, he's doing this. And looking back, I don't think they were even making fun of me. I think they might have even just been laughing because I was a different kind of energy. But I internalized that and I felt uncomfortable. I would feel anxious, but I would keep myself in those spaces no matter how my body felt, no matter how much my mind and no matter how much I felt like I needed to get the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? I didn't listen. And then I would end up keeping myself in situations that I didn't feel comfortable in. And I'm an adult now. Now I'm realizing that I can trust my mind. I can trust that anxiety. I can trust that overthinking as a warning. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's a warning that you need. Like a lot of the times, like recently, I was talking to somebody, and I was having those anxious feelings, and I was thinking to myself like, "Mayday, Mayday, get out, get out." And I asked myself in that moment, "Why am I worrying about this?" Sometimes you have to ask yourself that first. Why am I having this thought? What am I actually thinking? And I was having all these negative thoughts about the person and their motivation towards me. And I had to remind myself that they cannot control me. But if You remind yourself that, and they are controlling you. You need to leave the space because that means that you don't have any control. You know what I'm saying? I have been in spaces where I felt anxious and I didn't listen. So then I end up staying in a space with people that do not even agree with me and don't like me and have secret animosity towards me. So then I stay, and then the worst situation happens. When I could have left my body, felt like it, and probably had a great night. You know what I'm saying? I had one time got invited to perform at this event, and I will be posting it because I'm learning that I have to start standing up for my situations instead of neglecting them, which I do to make people feel comfortable. But I had recently, not recently, but a few months back, got invited into this event, and I was feeling just weird about it. You know, the whole event itself, and I didn't get to perform until the end of the event, which was not normal. We got in, like, I got invited to, me and my band got invited to play, but we didn't play until closing. Everyone was leaving, and my body felt that anxious feeling, that anxiety. My body was like, this isn't right. This shouldn't happen. Why is this happening? Why is this happening? Why is this happening? And I'm going, oh, maybe it's the weed. I gotta be patient. I'm over here trying to self-soothe myself, self-soothe, and tell myself it's okay. Just give it a second. But my body is yelling, and I'm not listening. At one point, I got up to leave, but I didn't. And I performed, and I gave energy that I didn't have because I always say you gotta see it through. And because of that, I ended up creating a lot of other timelines where I still kept my feelings inside because I wanted to see it through, wanted to be professional, but you have to listen to your body, y'all. Like, I mean, when you're 17, 16, 18, 19, 20, I mean, sometimes, even now, sometimes I be dragging it. I be over exaggerating. I be overthinking it. But I had a talk with my friend. My intuition never lie. My intuition has yet to lie. It may be a little in that moment, but then later on, I'm right. And I'm like, well, fuck, if I would have just listened to myself that first time, if you go through those moments where you didn't listen and you were right, you got to start trusting your body. Sometimes you don't, sometimes you won't be able to understand why you're having those feelings. It might not make sense, but you have to listen to your body. Animals listen to their body. You see, when a cat gets anxiety, when my cat, her name is North. Do y'all want to meet her? Comment down below if y'all want to meet North. When my cat gets, oh shit. When my cat gets anxious and shit like that, she self-soothes. She sits in my lap and she goes to sleep. She relaxes. She does not keep herself in those situations and making her feel anxious, even if she's over exaggerating. I remember when I first got her, she was petrified of the cat. There was an outside cat that was outside, and I think it attacked her once. So now she assumes that every animal wants to attack her. So she puts her guard up, and I used to go, she's being a pussy, like she's overthinking it. One of those things where she be right. Animals be attacking her little ass. She's cute as shit, but her anxiety be right. You know, it's one of those things where I'm not trying to. I do feel like people who have extreme anxiety, where you know your body's decapitated, you can't move. You know, therapy and learning how to manage your emotions. You know, that is important, and you know, talking to somebody, which I do regardless of whether I'm right or wrong. I still speak. I talk to my friends, which is why it's important to be around good people that you can speak about these things to. But it's one of those things where no matter what you learn in terms of technique, the first thing you should do is listen to your body. You know what I'm saying? Because whether they're good or bad people, being in a situation where you are anxious will make you have no control of yourself around energies. You know what I'm saying? There was this one time I was with my ex, and her and her sibling were like complimenting on like these guys in the video. And around this time, I was extremely insecure, and she knew that. But that doesn't matter. I was extremely insecure, and she's like, "Oh, those are real men. You see that? Yeah, real men. That's what a real man should be like. That's what a real man is." And I'm like, "Damn." And, I had to grow out of that. That's on me. But the more I kept hearing it, I'm looking at her like, like, okay, like, all right. And she just kept saying it. I started to feel like I was being subtly attacked, like real subtly, real quietly. Like, on a low. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just gonna say it. I ended up getting like a crazy panic attack. I don't remember why. I think that it was years ago now, so I can't really pinpoint when the panic attack started, whatever. But I ended up calling my friend. I said, "Yo, come pick my ass up. Pick me up. Pick me up." And best believe they did. They came and picked my ass up. I calmed down. I stayed at their house overnight, and I felt better. And I mean, over after that, there was like so many situations that happened, and I'm like, okay, so you're just not a good person. And we ended up breaking up, and it was exactly what I thought. I mean, of course, that anxiety was overthinking, but I was overthinking because the type of people that they never made me feel like I was good. They would kind of tell me that hype me up, but then sometimes they would put me down for the way I act, make fun of my voice, and then say, oh, they love my voice, but they make fun of it sometimes. Some of those things where they were inconsistent, so I didn't know which version of this they were. If they were really just talking about the men, or if they were low key talking about me. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things where the uneasiness created crazy anxiety. You shouldn't be around people that make you feel like uneasy, unpredictable people. What the fuck? And I'm not saying you need to be around predictable people, but you need to be around good energy. Energy that is aware of what they're saying. And I mean, that was definitely me being a little childish, but I was childish because of their character. You got to be around people whose character is good so that you don't question their intentions. You got to be in jobs and in spaces where you feel valued, so that if someone is talking about something, you won't take it personal. I was taking a lot of things personal because a lot of times it was personal. So then in the little times it wasn't. How the fuck I'm supposed to tell the difference? How the fuck I'm supposed to know it's not personal? And that to me creates anxiety. It creates overthinking. It creates worrying about going out. You shouldn't have to worry about hanging out with your friends. You shouldn't worry if they're secretly planning something towards you. You shouldn't worry if they're good people. You shouldn't worry if you're safe. That should be a given. You know what I'm saying? When I felt that anxiety, I was able to call somebody. And I was still feeling that panic attack. I could barely breathe. It was my first time in a long time I had that bad of a panic. I could not breathe. I felt suffocated. And I'm like, bruh, I'm overthinking. So I left. I didn't blame them. I understood whether it's about me or not. I have no control of myself right now. I need to be in a safe environment. You know what I'm saying? I listened to my body. And later down the line, that whole tie with them got cut. It's one of those things where we didn't even last as peak. You know what I'm saying? All of them, my friend. It was one of those things where I lost a lot of people who made me feel anxious at one point. And I didn't listen to it. And then later down the line, something happens, and I'm like, bro, you're adding up to what my brain thought you were. Why are you doing this? No, stop giving into the reality I'm creating. It's one of those things where you just never know. You just never know. Which is why self needs to be all you worry about. Am I comfortable? Am I happy? Do they make me happy? Am I overthinking? And listen to your body. If you're having anxiety, you might have to get out of that space. Maybe not forever. You know what I'm saying? I am the type of person to see it through. When I was at that the party that I had and I was feeling anxious, I saw the night through. And the night ended up being amazing. It was an amazing night. But I knew that because, well, actually, I forgot. I didn't bring up the second party. I'm like skipping stories, but my anxiety was trying to speak to me, and I was hesitant to listen. And because of that, I feel like it just creates more anxiety. You have to listen to what your body is yelling at you. You have to trust that your body has your best interest. And if you are feeling like what you are thinking is out of your control, not maybe real, or just in your head, that's when you talk to somebody. You have to understand that sometimes we do overthink as people. Sometimes we do assume things because of the past, and we put people in these boxes because of past situations. But sometimes you're right, and sometimes you were right all along. It's one of those things where I'm just learning to trust myself. Trust yourself. It's hard to do sometimes because we live in a world that says anxiety is bad. Why is there peas on the floor? What the hell is going on? We live in a world that when everyone tells us that our feelings need to be worked on and that we shouldn't feel what we feel, but we feel for a reason, you all. And sometimes it's like I said, because of past trauma, but That's why you have to always listen to your body so that you can learn how to navigate those feelings. Me listening to my anxiety in the past, why I listen to it now. Now I don't even give it a fucking over. I don't even overthink it. I'm like, this is what it is. Cut the scene. I want to go to another goddamn plot. You know what I'm saying? Because why am I staying somewhere I'm not comfortable? Why am I not able to shine my light? I'm always light. When I'm alone, so the only time I be feeling anxiety and anxious when I'm alone is when I go on social media. Fuck. I mean, that comparison, that shit's the thief of joy. All that shit is the only time I start to overthink when I go, oh my God, where am I in life? My bills, of all the shit that just creates stress. You know what I'm saying? But if I can control it, I will. And if I can't, I have to work through that. And that is what I'm learning. You know, you can only do so much. And that's fine. You know, it's, man, this life is, no one tells you this shit. I didn't hear the word anxiety all 4 years of fucking college. All 4 years of high school. I didn't hear it. They don't tell you about this shit. But this is like, to me, like a very large part of adulthood is listening to your body, listening to your intuition. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit is given to you for a reason. You have to listen to it. I be neglecting it. I be kind of dodging that bullet, and I be trying to, I don't want to create scenarios where I'm honestly blocking my blessings. But I had to learn to do it. One time I was in this internship, and it was like this music internship at this like recording studio. It was fucking cool as shit. I was like, oh my God, look at this opportunity. Like, this is rare shit. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to be on my best behavior. I didn't really know what I could and couldn't do. And I've done an internship before that. So before that, I did this whole like a mentor internship. And when I did that, they kind of give you the whole outline, what you're going to do, expectations, training, all this extra shit. And then they go, and at the end, you get a job. I said, okay, bet. I'm down for this internship, you know what I'm saying? So I do this recording studio one where, they're working with other artists. I'm like finally getting my foot in the door as I think, I'm thinking that. So I go first day and he gives me kind of the rundown. And I'm like, okay, it sounds like we kind of just clean up. And, it sounds pretty self-explanatory. Keep the place clean. And we come in from this time to this time. And then he goes, and if we're not here, do not come inside. Okay, sounds pretty self-explanatory to me. The first day rolls around. I think it's an amazing day. I'm like, wow, it's amazing. They even smoking me out. I'm like, oh shit, I'm high as shit. Like, look, this is the best job ever. Well, not job, but the best internship ever. The next day rolls around. He goes, yeah, you didn't do anything that you needed to do. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh, my bad. I mean, no one said anything while I was there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm okay, I'll do more next time. My bad. I thought I was doing what y'all told me to do. Okay, I'm working on it. Whatever. The next day rolls around. He don't show up. Keep in mind, it's summertime. Well, it feels like summer. It's like 95 degrees outside. I'm sitting in my car. At the time, I had like a leak in the antifreeze thing, so I could not keep my car just on. I couldn't just have the air on. So I call, no answer. I look inside. He ain't in there. So I go back in my car. He says that if he don't come, we don't go inside. So I wait in the parking lot for about an hour and I leave. I do. He texts me like, where you at? I said, well, I went home. You wasn't there. I hit your phone. You didn't answer. Like, I can't just sit in my car. It's hot as hell. He goes, you're not supposed to just leave. I say, well, you literally told me that, if you're not here, I have to go. And I was already feeling that anxiousness because I'm like, I'm over here on my tippy toes, afraid I'm going to make y'all mad at any moment. And it happens again. So I'm like, my bad. I just was following your direction. So then the next day rolls around. He's not there all day. He tells me that I'm going to be working with his boss. I said, okay, bet. His boss is like, oh, we're having a barbecue. We're going to cook. I'm like, oh, y'all be cooking in here? Like, I didn't know that. That's cool as shit. So, damn, it's raining as hell. I hope y'all can hear me. I'm trying to get like closer. I'm like, I don't know if y'all can hear it. But I'm okay, bet they be cooking in here. This is lit. And they had some like artists there too. So the artist is recording. I'm sitting there. I'm like, oh, this is a vibe. I'm sitting. I'm minding my business. So I don't know. I already did my job, which was clean the fucking bathroom. So I don't got nothing to do for the next 3 hours. So I'm sitting in there with them, with the boss. Then I end up like at one point leaving the space and like I forgot what I really did all day. But the next day rolls around and he goes, "You did horrible again yesterday. He said that you did this, and that you didn't do that, and that you did this." I'm like, why didn't he tell me that like during the shift? I was sitting there bored as hell for 3 hours, and he's upset at me, and I don't even know that. You know what I'm saying? Okay, that's fine. My bad. Again. And he goes, "Oh yeah, you're not supposed to sit in there when the artist is recording." No one told me that. So now I don't know what I am and am not allowed to do. So I tell him, I'm be honest with you, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Like everything I'm doing is incorrect, and I'm only doing what y'all are telling me to do. This is too much. And he starts arguing with me and telling me like, like it's one of those things where I was feeling attacked about every move I made, and that's fine. But I think it just comes to a point. If every single day I'm bothering you, I don't think this is a good fit for me. Cause like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just one of those things where I'm an artist. Like I want to have fun, and I'm stressing for even sitting down. I'm stressing that I don't clean the bathroom good enough. Like this shit is stressing me the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? So I forgot honestly how the conversation went, but all I remember was feeling anxious. So I tell him, you know what? This is probably not a good fit for me because I'm over here trying to include this shit in my while I'm working, trying to squeeze time just to be yelled at every day. I don't got time for that. So I say, you know what? Maybe this isn't a good fit. Yes, y'all got a studio, but I would just keep doing my ghetto setup until I find another way. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, it's fine. I'm gonna make a way. He goes, no, like, come back. We're always gonna be here. Our doors are open. I said, I love that. Keep in mind, I had gotten in contact with some of the videographers, some of the photographers, and shit like that. So I'm thinking to myself, like, I can still contact them. So the photographer texted me. He's like, and I felt a weird feeling when he texted me. I'm like, okay, like, I have a feeling like he gonna be a part of this dickhead energy. So I text him. I'm like, well, he texts me, and he tells me about like, oh, like I can start showing you how to do like different things on your camera. I go, okay, bet, let's do it. I said, by the way, I'm no longer doing the internship, but I mean, I'm still down to take some notes, whatever. He goes, oh, well, you only get this if you're in the internship. I said, oh, I mean, that's fine. Like, I know videographers and photographers. I thought we was getting cool. Like, the studio, I'm just, you know what? I was like, you know what? That's fine. And what is the plot of the story? I didn't listen to my mind. I didn't listen to every time I felt out of body and I felt anxious. I didn't listen. I felt I had to keep seeing it through because as a kid, I was always wrong. I'm stubborn. I don't listen to anybody. So I'm telling myself, you have to listen. You have to listen. I was trying to self-soothe in a space that I was not understood and respected, honestly. I was just being yelled at and tossed around like a goddamn piece of shit. I just don't got time for that. You know what I'm saying? I'm learning that the opportunity will come. And I've made so much music since then. I've met so many cool artists. I literally know an amazing videographer. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things where it all came back. You know what I'm saying? I had to trust that the anxiety that I was feeling, that me being uncomfortable, me not wanting to be in that space was a warning. It was a warning. I didn't listen for a while. And honestly, it's crazy because at the internship, he was giving me all this advice and telling me to stay in Jersey and this is where I can grow. And then he tells his friends that same night, because he was high as hell, he goes, don't stay in Jersey, ain't shit here. I'm trying to get out myself. Why are you giving me advice that you wouldn't take? Who are you? It's one of those things where I had to understand that there's going to be a space for me, and it may not be everywhere. It may not be everyone. It may not be everything, not every job. I had to understand that when you get that gut feeling, listen to it. I had that gut feeling at the last job I was at. With the whole racist shit, if you haven't seen it on my channel, watch it on my channel. I felt that from day one. I'm like, everybody energy kind of, I was getting snapped at for the littlest things. Snapped at because I said, hey, that's my table. No, it's not. Whoa! Take the table. I'm just a waiter. I thought we were going back and forth. It's not a big deal. I'm being snapped at for speaking up for myself. It's one of those things where if that's happening to you, get the fuck out of this space. Because you should have a voice. You know what I'm saying? You should. And you should be able to thrive and not have to feel anxious and on your toes and looking over your shoulder like this. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Definitely in a creative space. Like, this is supposed to be where I relax. And now I don't know when the fuck I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Every 10 seconds I am in trouble. Like, I don't got the time. I'm not a kid anymore. And I'm not gonna be treated like that anymore. You know what I'm saying? I had to learn that. And now I've been growing. It's happening in my fucking face because I listen to my body. I listen to my anxiety and I trust that I'm looking out for my greatest good. And I always, and I think y'all should too, consider other perspectives. Consider it. Ask your friends. Talk to the people that you trust because sometimes I do be over exaggerating. And that's why I always give things a few days. Sometimes I gave that shit a few weeks. I gave everything a few weeks. I gave my job a few months. You know what I'm saying? I always see shit through. Always see shit through because you just never know. You never know. Sometimes you have to see it through. Sometimes it may be overthinking. Sometimes, you never know. But in my experience, I was right. I've been learning to trust myself, learning that I'm looking out for my greatest good. Uh, and it's a crazy lesson though, because sometimes it looks crazy. Sometimes me saying no, I'll be saying no to some of the nicest people, and they end up being dickheads like I thought they were. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm learning to trust. If you made it this far, because we are at 20 something minutes, if y'all made it this far, comment down below. Trust yourself. Trust yourself in this journey. Please trust yourself. Trust your anxiety. Of course, work through it. Don't allow yourself to be. If you're still getting anxious, you have to remove yourself out of that space. And of course, like I said, a lot of times it can be trauma induced. A lot of the time, something that you got to go to therapy for. Anxiety is a spectrum. Everything is. So I'm not going to just tell you, if you get anxiety, do this. Because sometimes you need to work through it. But working through it is so that you can control self and have an understanding of self. And if you're losing control and other people are testing self, remove self and go back to self. Shit. Go to your safe space. You know what I'm saying? Even if that's just your room. Even if that's the bathroom. I'm telling you, that bathroom would be the safe space for a lot of us. Go to the bathroom for a minute. Lock that goddamn door. Look in the mirror. Turn some music on. And vibe. And thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for tuning in and truly understanding me. Because y'all are seeing me. I'm telling you, there are people that I speak to and my words are just misunderstood. Just twisted. And people see me in a light that I'm like, this isn't even who I am. But it's not my job to explain who the fuck I am anymore. Because that just creates anxiety. It makes me overthink who I am, who I should be in certain spaces. Fuck that. I'm me. I should have fucking put the fucking computer here a long ass time ago. My arms be killing me. The wind be taking that shit away. Like, I'll catch y'all. Check out my music at Paris Tempted, Paris TTMPPED, TTMPPED. And I'll see y'all soon. She was only from years ago. We'll never know.